Yeah, all valid arguments. Let's shift to the East now. And the Pittsburgh Penguins clinched the East Division on Saturday night, guys. First place, locked up. Just a remarkable turnaround for their season from where it was in the beginning, where we weren't really sure that this Penguins team was even going to make the postseason. But here they are. How far can this Penguins team go down the stretch here?
Sharpie, I don't know how you feel about this lineup, but I like their depth offensively. You know, they've got three lines for sure that are as good offensively as any in the league. We saw Jeff Carter get 4 goals the other night. He's on the third line behind Crosby and Malkin. What I don't see there is a shutdown line. So, you know, if you're going to be going up against some of the top teams in the league and some of the top lines, you're looking at the perfection line potentially. Who's going to shut them down? You know, so that's a question mark for me. Their goaltending has been good, so I don't really have a concern there. But I think their depth is great. They've got 4 lines that can score, but it's who's going to shut down the top lines of the other team that I think becomes really important in the playoffs. You look at a team like Washington, they've got Dowd, Hagelin, and Hathaway. Laviolette loves to use that line for shutdown minutes. You know, that to me becomes more valuable in a 7-game series.
Yeah, so now you're asking the guys in Pittsburgh, players like Tanev and Bluger, and make up whoever you want on the wing. On the other side, a guy like Zach Aston Smith. We've seen McCann go down there and play. I mean, that's asking a lot. Maybe the lights go on Pittsburgh. Like they do
Oh, that's funny.
That's not a good sign for the Penguins. Maybe maybe we should look elsewhere in that Eastern Division. You mentioned that energy line. That's what I like so much about the Bruins, because besides the top 2 scoring options that they have, we talk about them all the time. They can make up a checking line centered by Corrali, and then pick your poison on the wings. If you want to have a little more of a physical group, there's Nick Ritchie. You can have a little skilled group, try to score some goals. Andre Cassius coming back to the lineup. So there's options there in the bottom 6 with Boston and other teams in that division. I like where Dom's head's at, but as long as they got 87, we'll see if Malkin's ready to roll. Tough to bet against the Penguins, but I'm kind of on the same page as you, Dom.
Yeah, and along those lines, I mean, Dom, you mentioned his name, but Jeff Carter or Sharpie, you said, you know, he's coming off that 4-goal performance last week, scored another one in Saturday's game. Why has Jeff Carter fit so well with this Pittsburgh Penguins team? What is it about the makeup of that line that is allowing him to have success? Is he freer to play than he was in Los Angeles? The matchups are just a little bit better for him. I mean, what is it? Yeah,
probably. It's there's 2 different leagues from what I remember. When you're playing on a top line, first or second, you're getting pretty good, pretty challenging matchups defensively. You got a guy like Dominic Moore chasing around all night long, good 2 defensemen. Every shift you're out there. And then when you find yourself in the bottom 6, whether it's that 3rd line and energy 4th line, now it just seems to be like a different league. You're out there against 5th and 6th defensemen, and sometimes the pace of play is a little bit different. So I think Carter coming over, he's a veteran guy. He's always had the ability to score big goals and lighten up the Buffalo Sabres. Doesn't get me too excited for Jeff Carter going forward. I already knew what he was, a straight line skater. He's going to score and produce in those big moments, but when you can kind of hide him behind some of the other top guys that are there, look at what Phil Kessel did in the playoffs for the Pittsburgh Penguins. He was basically in a 3rd line role for both of those back-to-back championships. Maybe Carter's the guy that can move up and down your lineup, but beyond scoring goals, Dom, he's going to kill penalties. He's a right-handed shooting centerman, so he can take some draws in those situations. They don't have too many righties there taking draws in Pittsburgh, so he can provide some value that way as well.
Yeah, big time. And he's getting production on the power play too, where you're playing with some of the best playmakers in the league. Sharp, you have to wonder too, like, you know, he's been in a situation where he hasn't been on a contender, you know, and you got to wonder how much he's invigorated just by being in a new environment with a team that's got a chance to make a deep run, a team that's been there before. So he really feels like, you know, he's back in another Stanley Cup situation again. So I think that's energizing for a guy at the point in the career that Jeff Carter is at. And he's going to be a great playoff asset. You mentioned all the attributes he has and his size, you know, being able to grind down low. That you're not going to see as many rush opportunities in the playoffs. So having that size and puck protection that a guy like Jeff Carter has is a real asset there.